Hey there, and welcome to DollMotion. It's finally the end of 2020, and I thought it would be a fun idea to end this year with a Repaint doll tour, going through all the dolls on this channel I still have in my collection. I was kinda inspired by Delightful and Hextian. But I also want to make this video because I want to say goodbye to some dolls. Some will be sold and some will be given away to friends. So let's go on a journey and begin the doll tour. These are the dolls I made before I started the channel. Well, what's left of them? Many of them were given away. But I still have my first ever repaint, this Draculaura. This girl. And this girl is very interesting because I used her face up as inspiration for Penny's face up. This doll was a King's Day celebration doll. It's a Dutch holiday. But the paint is chipping off, so I'm going to say goodbye to her and reuse her for a new project. Something I also did as a hobby was painting these realistic versions of popular characters. And now we're at the beginning of the channel. The first ever doll repaint videos on the channel were Easter specials, the Easter Bunny and the Spring Girl. I actually gave them a new repaint off screen because I didn't really like the end results in the videos. I guess I was more focused on figuring out the structure of the video and hearing my own voice. While the dolls may not be my best, I'm still using the same video structure. Next up we have Pokemon Trainer Red. I remember really wanted to have a doll or figure from the original design of Trainer Red, which is almost impossible. Well, you can get Fire Red and Leaf Green versions of this trainer, but not the original design. And to this day, it's a doll I never boxed. Then we have Jaina Pridemore. Interesting enough, it's a doll I wasn't that crazy about back then. And I'm still not. So a perfect candidate to be reused for another project. And here we have a doll I'm definitely crazy about. There's Summer Fox, or Alex Fox. The doll that kinda started it all. I already made a video about the season repaints if you like more background information. But Alex has gone through a lot of changes. First of all, his eyes were tweaked. And he got a more articulated body. The next doll is the Sparkle Mouse Princess. The first doll on the channel with inset eyes. And because of those eyes, not an official Divus character. And I'm also going to say goodbye to her. Then we have Jon Snow. A repaint video no one watched. I do love how this doll turned out. But I'm still deciding on if I'm going to sell this doll or if I'm going to reuse him for a future project. Because nowadays you have to get a second mortgage on the house to get your hands on some Ever After High boys. Then we have Sweet Penny Talpa, or the Autumn Squirrel as she was called back then. Throwing in some Divus facts, in my first idea for the stop motion scenes with Penny and Alex, they were just friends and roommates and not love interests at all. And then we go into the Halloween season with the Halloween cat. Well, then she became Sabrina Phyllis for a while, and then she became Lilith, a returning character in the Halloween skits. Also, her repaint video was voiced by Bart. So go and check it out if you want to hear Alex talk about doll repaints. My second Halloween doll that year was the Angel of Death, or Morta how I like to call her. She was originally on YouTube, but for some reason I still don't get to this day, YouTube took her down, forcing me to place it on Patreon a year later. She also got a redesign in Kaio's video, making her less alien-like. And then we have the first Krampus. A video that really gave my channel a big boost. And probably the doll that made me the crazy body mod lady. Something I also made on the channel were realistic versions of popular characters. These two are still left, but the other ones got a new home with friends. 2018, or the collab year, how I like to call it. Because wow, I was in so many collabs. Starting the year with an Alice in Wonderland repaint. She actually got a new repaint off screen, giving her a softer look. But it's still not the Alice I'm looking for, so I need to try again in the future. And here we have the silent type, Henry Avis, or the Winter Owl. He finally got a new body this year, where I can remove his wings, which makes it possible for me to give him a new outfit. Because man, this poor owl was stuck in the same outfit for years. Next up we have Gardevoir, for the Valentine collab repaint, and the first non-trainer Pokemon doll. And here we have Zygarde, made in collab with Delightful and the Doll Fairy. And yeah, he really needs a fix. I'm not sure what happened, but his face got messed up. Having him boxed up on the attic wasn't a good idea. But knowing me, I can fix him. He'll be fine. You're fine. It's fine. Okay, Trainer Blue, together with Realistic Eevee, the second Pokemon trainer I made. He and Red were used for the small stop-motion scenes on the end of Pokemon repaint videos. Next up we have one of my favorites, Gengar. I really love this doll, and not because Gengar is my favorite Pokemon, but I had so much fun making this doll. And also a doll I never boxed. Then we have the first Patreon exclusive doll, the Plague Doctor, or Birdo, how I like to call her. Although not intended as a Halloween doll, she became a returning character in the Halloween skits. Then we have my fashion princess Daisy Phyllis, or the Spring Cat. It took her a while, but this lady became a main character in our own spin-off series. And fun fact, the bells in her hair reflects my room and sometimes me. Next up we have Articuno, the first of the legendary bird trio. And definitely my favorite. Even so much my favorite, I took inspiration from this doll to make Emu Avis. I guess I wasn't done making birds, because here we have Songbird. Not really a repaint, but more of a custom. I really wish I made the head smaller or the body bigger, but I'm still very happy I made this doll. Having one-of-a-kind Bioshock merch is always awesome. Then we have Cherry from Studio Killers. She was made for the Pride collab I organized together with some friends. The same with Songbird. It's nice to have merch from your fandom. Then we have my Rainbow Queen Volpini Fox. The doll that made me think the stop-motion scenes as something serious, and also made the concept of a Divus. She also became the mascot of the DollMotion Patreon page, breaking the fourth wall in promotion videos, and showing in many polls the most popular Divus character. Next up we have Zapdos. I don't think the doll turned out as I hoped. If I ever have the time, I would like to replace his jacket, his tail, and fix some cracks on his face. And maybe some extra joints on his legs. Then we have Canis Lupus. I'm not sure why, but every video I get the suggestion to make a wolf Divus. And then I'm like, but I already made one! But still, I really love this character. And her storyline will be way bigger next year, giving her a lot of character development. Then we have Moltres, the last of the bird trio. This doll did make me realize that making a series of dolls is kinda creative exhausting. And I didn't enjoy making Zapdos and Moltres as much as I hoped. But don't get me wrong, I do love the characters and I do love the dolls I made. but I didn't want to continue with Lugia and Ho-Oh anymore. I'm not saying I'm never going to make them, but I first need to have inspiration to make the doll. So who knows, someday I'm going to finally finish the series. But you will probably going to remind me every single video. Next up we have Pyrrhus Venus, the doll that's based on my pet cat with the same name. Pyrrhus has become one of the main characters in the Divus series, going from a simple jock to a very complex character. His background story will be revealed next year. Then we have Baku. Although this doll is inspired by Pokemon Munna, I do consider him a Halloween doll, even with all those pretty flowers. Next up we have Felicia Fox, the character that introduced the Divus plotline into the story, making the stop-motion scenes into a real series. She also became the main character of the series, kinda replacing Penny over time. My next Patreon exclusive video was Kaio, or, well, Violet Venus. Just like Pyrrhus, she was based on my pet cat. A fact I left out of the repaint video, to keep the character mysterious. Although I thought it was very obvious it was the missing sister. I also made a joke about it in the repaint video. But for some people it wasn't that obvious. So I just kept it silent until the big reveal in 2020. 2018 also had to say goodbye to a lot of dolls, like Cloud, who was the first giveaway on Patreon, Franger, who was the first giveaway on YouTube, Bunny was a giveaway swap doll, and the Red Panda was also a giveaway swap doll for the Christmas special. Let's continue with 2019. Wow, this was one pretty strange year. You know why pretty soon. Beginning the year with Pokemon Trainer, Green and Bulbasaur. With this doll I completed the trainer trio Red, Blue and Green, giving me a full cast to animate for future Pokemon stop-motion scenes. This year the Divus stop-motion scenes became a real series, becoming loose uploaded episodes. And because of this I was inspired to make more characters for the series. Starting with Harris Talpa, one of Penny's dads, and the first character to be called a Divus character in a repaint video. Then we have our pink owl, Olivia Avis. Olivia's video was originally planned to be released on Valentine's Day, but had to be pushed back for a collab video in January. But I'm still very happy how she turned out. Although she's actually a red pepper on the all that pink. Then we have the exclusive video Hank and Penny. This repaint video is very important to me. Because of this video many people became a Patreon, making it possible for me to do DollMotion for a living. Till then DollMotion was just a side thing, knowing I had to end it anytime soon, looking for a real job. Next up we have James Fox, the mysterious uncle that was mentioned through the series. This character was and is very important because it turned the series from a few joke stop-motion scenes stick together to a real story I wanted to tell. Also, if you want to get into the Divus series, I would start with episode 6, Happy Birthday, to see if it's something for you. And then we have... yeah, I think some of you already know what happened here, but probably not how much influence it had on me. The Pikachu doll was made in a collab with the Doll Fairy and Delightful. Personally, I still really like how this doll turned out, but then the video goes online and the comments start to pour in. Don't get me wrong, you can criticize the doll or leave a comment for better ideas. But that weren't the comments I got. No, the comments were from people who clearly didn't even watch the video. and were just there to bash the doll. Even attacking me personally, saying they should lock me up for my mental health or I should just kill myself. Just to quote a few comments. I did disable the comments after a few months, getting hate comments every single day. This really left a mark on me, making me kind of scared of YouTube. It shouldn't have to affect me that much, but it did. And to this day, I'm still anxious when I upload a video. It also made me scrap any Pokemon project for that year. So the moral of the story is, please remember when you leave a bad comment, and not just on my channel, just anywhere, a real person with feelings is reading it. I'm very sorry I had to mention this in a happy video about dolls, but I thought it was kinda important. But one happy thing I can mention is, after 1.5 years, I decided to continue making Pokemon dolls again in 2021. Our next doll is bunny model Jolene Lapin. She is just a side character in the series, but she became so popular with fans. But I also think she's a bit of a misunderstood character. And I hope to expand her character and personality better in the spin-off series, where she has a bigger role. And now for our angsty teenager, Felix Phyllis. Like you saw in his repaint video, the mist is super clear, kinda ruined the face up, leaving a foggy layer. Some repainters call this mishap getting a doll Felixed, which is well sad for the repaint but kinda hilarious. The second Patreon exclusive video was Eland, Motto and Kitty, giving 2 of my mascots a role on the Divus series. It was also important to me that Eland would be a moose, because I based the Divus series on a story I made in college about a moose. Then we have our god, Sabrina. Originally, Sabrina would have been one of Felicia's friends, and staying a side character with a small role. But seeing this would give Lizzie almost to no screen time, I decided to scrap Sabrina's original role and give her her own spin-off series with a new storyline. And yes, Lizzie will have way more screen time now. Then it became Halloween, making one of my favorite Halloween dolls, Antibus, my pocket-sized hellhound. Then we have Slifer the Sky Dragon. And to be very honest, I don't really like this doll. This doll was made in a period when the Copa FTC situation was revealed. I didn't know if I still would have a channel in 2020, or I had to move to Patreon and start looking for a new job. I think it really shows in the doll. And I'm going to remove her from the collection. The last Patreon exclusive video for that year were the Fox siblings in a younger form. I had a lot of fun making these versions, especially Fulpini, making her before her Divus transformation. Although these dolls were only used for flashback scenes, they do make very good background stories. Then we have a revision of the Krampus doll. Sadly, a video not many people have seen. But I actually like this version of Krampus way more. In 2019, we also had to say goodbye to a few dolls. Alolan Vulpix and Ninetales were given away on Patreon. The Demon Girlfriend was given away to Mommy's World and Kaden. The Parrot Pirate Captain was given away to a Patreon. And Motto was given away to a winner on YouTube. Moving on, I actually made a few dolls off screen or as mini repaint videos on Instagram and Twitter. Like this God Girl, this Witch LOL doll, this Cherry inspired doll, this Beerus inspired doll, a demon, and this Emu Abbas inspired doll. Moving on to 2020. the COPPA rules were turned on YouTube. Although I could keep my channel as not only for kids, they stopped recommending my channel for kids. So I lost about 50 to 60% of my views, and man, that was directly visible in my videos. Starting with new repaints for the channel, I had a new vision for my dolls. I want to put more time and effort in my dolls, giving them more complex outfits, hairstyles, face-ups, and, or in Gregory's case, tattoos. Becoming one of my favorite dolls. Sorry, Alex. Then we have the exclusive video Betty Avis, Olivia's and Henry's pigeon mother. I'm very proud of our 50s style. Then we have Reese. This was originally a collab doll, but the person I would have a collab with kinda bailed on me. Although I really love this doll and I'm very happy I made her, I would have made an original sloth character instead. Because of this, there's even a reference to a sloth character in the series. For the next exclusive repaint video, I made a mini-me, or a Divsona, how I like to call it. I actually used my real hair to reboot her, kinda making her a mouse voodoo doll. Then we have Lizzie Gray. Because she was made for Pride Month, I want to be as informed about this subject as possible, seeking advice from the trans community. Although she was only in 2 episodes, she really is one of my favorites and I love voicing her. Then we have more child or baby versions of characters, giving Gregory a stronger motivation and backstory in the series. And yes, I really had to stain and rip apart the clothes of mini Divus Greg. Then we have Roald, Fable and baby Alex. These characters still don't have an appearance in the Divus series, but they will make their debut in 2021. Next up we have Christina Melez. I knew Hexie would voice her, so I had to make a Divus version of him. I did ask permission though. Then we had a new repaint doll series, Face Up Time. A series focusing on doll face-ups. Sadly, at this time the channel wasn't doing so well. YouTube's algorithm and COVID-19 made it extra hard. Especially COVID-19 made it hard for everyone. And very understandable, the channel was losing supporters on a daily basis. This resulted for me to think I should work harder. And oh, that kinda backfired. And then it became Halloween, and I made my first ever My Little Pony repaint and George the Kappa. I really enjoy making this doll. Making a yokai is just the best. Going back to the face up time, I made another inspired OMG doll, this time by Violet Phyllis. Although I loved making all these extra face up time videos, well, I kept working long days, never taking a day off, hoping the channel will get better. But this resulted in me getting a major burnout. You can hear it subtle in the Emu Avis video. I forget small things and make weird mistakes. I normally would never do. The doll turned out great though. But I did realize I had to change some things. Like taking the weekends off. So my second moral in this video: working hard is great and all, but taking care of yourself by taking some time off is also very important. I start doing this after Emu Avis's video. And yeah, I'm a total different person now. For Christmas, I originally had a Christmas Angel face-up time video planned. But I had to scrap it because of the burnout. But maybe I can save it for next year. Jeff's video, who became the new Christmas video, was basically made in Zen mode, because I was taking days off. In 2020, we also had to say goodbye to a few dolls. Like Jackalope Jack, who was a giveaway doll on Patreon, together with an LOL surprise Kenneth, this inspired Pyrrhus doll, Joy Ambus, who was also a giveaway doll on Patreon, and this Chibi Penny doll. Wow, it was so much fun seeing all these dolls again. And I made exactly 100 dolls on this channel. I definitely look back with fun memories. And if I ever have to end my channel, I can be very proud of my work. But I still hope I have some few years left, so I can finish all the characters and dolls I have planned, finish the Divus series, and fill some more bottles with ears. Hey, I really want to know, what was your first DollMotion video? And which doll is your favorite? I would love to read it in the comments. Again, this channel was fully made possible because of all the amazing supporters on Patreon and YouTube membership. So thank you again, Chelsea Panda Monkey, Art Beetle Customs, Red Demon 990, Managing Dreams, Cat Vanity, Mystery Wolf, Painted by Picasso, Kei Namaru, and everyone else. So let's say goodbye to 2020 and demand a great 2021. I have some great dolls and new Divus episode planned for you in 2021. Thank you for watching and being a part of DollMotion. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!